So with the score at 81 for 4, Murray Goodwin comes to the crease to join Andy Flower. Murray Goodwin just 100 in limited overs international cricket, that against Sri Lanka, and a modest average of 26.6. This is how Grant Flower was dismissed. Simons pitching short, and Grant Flower trying to take it from outside off stump. That plus a little bit quicker, and the bounce, he was unable to effect the shot satisfactorily. It just hit high on the bat, perhaps a slice, and the catch just lollied up in the air. Martin having covered some ground, a relatively easy chance. And now we have Shane Warne bowling for the first time for the weekend. Didn't bowl at all yesterday. Coming to the crease, another shot of that wicket, and Flower never inside the line of the ball. Martin came from mid-on, did cover a lot of ground, but it stayed in the air for a long time. Crowd gave a big cheer when Shane Warne was introduced into the attack. And Goodwin trying to sweep early. Got just a bottom edge onto that, so a run, he's off the mark.
Very good one, getting his pad across there, getting a little bit of a edge onto it, and Andy Flower calls him through very, very quickly, and he gets off that mark for his single. Andy Flower on 24, Zimbabwe 82 for 4 in the 25th over. A beautiful day here at Harare Sports Club.
A fair bit of attention being given to the field placement here. 2 in the ring and 2 deep on the leg side to the left-handed Flower, but Shane Warne bowls outside off stump, pitches up, Flower drives, and Dale is the man out at deep extra cover.
Andy Flower has always had an aggressive attitude towards spinners, likes to slog sweep or cut them or get onto the drive, and he won't want Warne to dominate him.
It will be interesting to see how much turn Shane Warne gets here today, how much he tries to achieve as well. That varied a bit in the test match on the last day particularly. Wasn't turning it a great deal, but wasn't trying to, and that did turn past the bat of Murray Goodwin.
Wonderful delivery from Shane Warne. Look at that turn. Murray Goodwin trying to cover that ball, and it spins way outside off stump, actually missing his bat by quite a long way, and Adam Gilchrist takes good stumping.
No run to finish Shane Warne's first over. 2 runs from it, 83 for 4. And a bit of a streaky shot there. Simon's coming round the wicket to Flower.
Yeah, I doubt whether it's a streaky shot. If it had been a streaky shot, it might have gone to the boundary, but he does wafted it and manages to miss it. Very lazy shot, I'd say. See the Manhattan there. There's a couple of overs, the 16th and 23rd over, picking up 12 and 10 respectively.
That's in the air, that's gone over the slips, but falling short of Tom Moody at third man. And Andy Flower doing as his brother had in recent overs, advancing down the wicket to the medium paces and looking to hit high over the offside.
Andy Flower lucky to get away with this. Simons has seen him coming down the wicket and just bowled it wider. He's got the outside edge and managed to chip it over the gully.
No ball. Yes.
And another no ball. The shot at the stumps, that would have been close had it hit. Ricky Ponting's a pretty dangerous man to be taking on in the field.
Andy Flower just hitting that just in front of Ponting, and Ponting fires it in at the bowler's end, and if that had struck, it would have been very, very close. Fortunately for Andy Flower, misses, and they nearly managed to get an overthrow. But Ricky Ponting, very smart and quick out there, just at backward point.
Shane Warne continuing. Bowling to Andy Flower. And Flower squeezes this. He was looking to hit it a little square, but he'll be happier with the result. Opened the face of the bat a little bit and it got squeezed. Ball went straight on instead of turning. It was a top spinner. And it beat the player there at backward point, Michael Bevan. 4 runs resulting.
They've been consuming a lot of the local beverage through the shoe.
And the bounce causing runs to be scored there. Bounce off the square, and Simons could do nothing to stop that.
Very, very wide. That would have been called a wide, but Murray Goodwin gets a bit of bat onto it and it goes through the gap. You see, really stretching for that one.
Goodwin now sweeps. Dale there at backward square leg. Keeps it to a single. Good fielding from Dale. So this game's starting to liven up. Both Goodwin and Andy Flower getting quite aggressive. And the crowd appreciating the Zimbabwe 100. 4 wickets down for Zimbabwe. 100 on the board and a much better contest than what they witnessed yesterday. Played through the offside again. Dale comes in quickly and again restricts it to a single. Good work, but 9 from that Shane Warne over. Zimbabwe 101 for 4.
McGrath was magnificent early, as one would expect on a grassy pitch. Moody got bounce, and Warne's showing there's a bit of spin as well.
And that is a bad ball, and that is a high ball hit over mid-on for 4. Very bad ball from Damien Martin. Short, wide, slow.
The only problem that Goodwin had with this is it does bounce more than the normal wicket. Got to make sure that you get the body behind, cater for that bounce. This one he, with a nice 7-iron shot into the vacant area, 1 or 2 bounces and over the ropes.
Didn't quite get to it. The footwork was right, but because he didn't quite get to it, Goodwin, the ball just bounced and had enough time to turn, and it wasn't the half volley that Goodwin wanted. The footwork was good, but just not quite there in the end, and a very good catch and cover by Simons.
It's Murray Goodwin thinking that he's got a half volley. It actually wasn't that length, because he didn't get to it. It did turn slightly on him, and he hit it with a lot of bottom hand. Simons is useful in that position, takes a good catch low. So Murray Goodwin caught Simons, bowled Warne for 14.
30 minutes batting, Zimbabwe 120 for 5. The wicket of Murray Goodwin allowed drinks to be taken halfway through the 33rd over, and he comes to the crease just into his 6th match.
This is the wicket of Murray Goodwin. Just didn't quite get to the pitch, and therefore driving against Warne, ball dipping on him, was always going to be tricky. Andrew Simons taking a good catch, coming in low and diving forward. Those aren't easy. And the end of a partnership that looked as though it could progress. Here Blicknote drives, put a bottom hand, and therefore skews it off through the onside, looking to hit it through mid-off. That'll end Warne's over. No, it won't. No, it won't.
This one now, Oz.
And a big shout from around the wicket. No movement by the batsman, but every fieldsman's gone up and charged, and no movement by the umpire.
Be interesting to see what Gilchrist's reaction was, because Tom Moody thought he'd nicked it straight away, but don't think Gilchrist's appeal was right off the cuff. He was supporting the bowler. Difficult to tell whether the bat's just inside the ball. Difficult to tell sometimes as to whether there's a fine nick there.
So Shane Warne, his bowling is very good. He really has great rhythm, and the left-hander, it didn't appear as though he picked the wrong one.
Yes, I think we'll find this came out the back of the hand. Blickner trying to hit the ball with what he thinks is spin coming in towards him. It didn't. And that's why he got the outside edge and just spooned it to Bevan behind cover point. And he's been done by the variety. So Blickner caught Bevan, bowl Warne for 1. Zimbabwe 125 for 6.
John Rennie comes to the crease in his 35th match. No 50s, no 100s, averaging just under 14 and a half. And he comes to the crease to face Shane Warne because Andy Blicknott just hit it straight down Michael Bevan's throat at backward point because he didn't pick the wrong one. And the ball out of the back of the hand, turning away from the left-hander. And a bad cricket shot.
And there it is, there's a 50, it's going to go for 4. That's Andy Flower's 50. Superb innings from the Zimbabwean. He moves on to 53, and Zimbabwe now 137 for 6. Shane Warne to bowl from the golf course end. Driven just back with a square. Is it going to run all the way? It is. That's 4 runs to Andy Flower. Just in front of Castle Corner. They enjoyed that.
Another good shot here from Andy Flower, just opening the face of the bat and hitting it just in front of the deepish backward point, and it races through to the boundary. He moves on to 58, Zimbabwe on to 142 for 6.
In the air for a while, but again they're going to be looking for 2. Can McGrath cut it off? He can. Has to move a long way to his right. And Andy Flower safely through for 2 runs. Short, ball away. I think that's going to run all the way. Another 4 for John Rennie. So something for the large crowd here at Harare Sports Club to cheer about.
Rank long hop from Shane Warne, and John Rennie does well. He dispatches it to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. That moves him on to 9. So good shot.
Short and driven through the extra cover by Andy Flower. They're going to go for 2. I think they'll be safely home. So the key there was Andy Flower took the first single very quickly. Flower moves on to 64, and the total on to 154 for 6.
Very good running between Andy Flower and Gavin Rennie and John Rennie as he takes off and calls immediately for the second. John Rennie running now to the danger end as they throw to the bowler's end.
Oh, we'll have to get back. There's going to be trouble here. And that's the end of John Rennie. We were talking about that indecisiveness, and Zimbabwe have paid for that. And that sees the departure of John Rennie. He's gone for 10. And Zimbabwe now 154 for 7.
So Andy Flower just nudging this just off his pad on the leg side. They look to run. John Rennie's looking to run through. Adam Gilchrist does really well. Throws it to Shane Warne, and he's well out of his crease. Umpire Robinson gives that out. So John Rennie run out for 10. Zimbabwe 154 for 7.
Well, the run out of John Rennie brings Gary Brent to the wicket, playing his 5th one-day international.
Oh, Shane.
The end of the 41st over. Zimbabwe 154 for 7. Big appeal, and he's given him out. Russell Tiffin has given Brent out. LBW. Gary Brent is furious. And Zimbabwe lose their 8th wicket now. 156 for 8. And Gary Brent has gone for a duck.
Gary Brent just shuffling in front of the stumps, and that hits him below the roll or on the roll, right in front of middle stump. And umpire Russell Tiffin has no hesitation in giving him out. So Gary Brent, LBW to Tom Moody for 0. Zimbabwe 156 for 8.
Andy Whittle strides to the wicket. 56 one-day internationals. No 50s or 100s. Air in the air, but he's found the gap, and that's going to run all the way to the boundary. Lucky shot for Andy Flower. Shane Warne can't believe it. Zimbabwe move on to 160 for 8.
Once again, Shane Warne has given Andy Flower a bit of width, and he's given it the full kitchen sink, and it's gone upish, but just past the outstretched left hand of Tom Moody, and races away through to the boundary for 4. So that moves Andy Flower onto 68. Shane Warne in his last over. His 9 overs have cost him 39 runs.
6 fours in that 69. Have to hurry. Throw wasn't accurate, and Andy Flower's got to get up, but he's got time to go through for the second. The overthrow. Shane Warne wasn't able to take that return from McGrath.
So once again, a risky run as Andy Flower hits that just to the left hand of Steve Waugh. He picks up and shies at the stumps. Andy Flower, he would have been out of his crease, he would have been gone, but fortunately for him, Shane Warne can't pull it in, and they get an overthrow. So Andy Flower picks up 2 runs. He moves on to 71.
Call of yes and no. A shot at the stumps from side on, and third umpire called for. I think no one's in too much doubt about this. It was a direct hit, a brilliant throw from square on.
Yes, very unnecessary mix-up again. This is going to be miles out, I think. Umpire Tiffin is merely wanting a second opinion. He nearly gave it out straight away.
Yes, clearly out there. Andrew Simons, brilliant at backward point. So Andy Whittle is out, and Zimbabwe have lost their 9th wicket. And whether or not they can get to 200 also depends on if the remaining Zimbabwe batsmen can stay there with Andy Flower. One of those, when Andy Pycroft made that comment, was Andy Whittle, and he is now gone. Zimbabwe 167 for 9. The last batsman for Zimbabwe, David Mutindera, and a big job for this young man. His highest score, 10, achieved yesterday. Whittle just playing this ball backward of point. Andrew Simons onto it like a flash, and from side on knocks the stumps down, and Whittle is out. So just 1 wicket remains. A shout for LBW, that's got to be close.
Well, Glenn McGrath looks ruefully back towards umpire Ian Robertson. I think the umpire's going to say that that might have missed leg because it's done too much, but it looks pretty adjacent when it hits pad. Has it done enough to miss leg stump? That can be the only call.
He dances down the wicket and drives it straight, and mid-off's got a long way to come around. Firstly to save the 4, and has he? I don't think so. And certainly the batsmen are always going to take 2. Damian Martin made a valiant effort, but in fact it's 4 runs, so a very valuable boundary for Zimbabwe.
Don't often see Andy Flower playing this shot. A lot of bottom hand, and in fact horizontal bat to get it. But great cricket, Damien Martin, great effort to try and save that. That was going with a lot of power. Momentum taking him and across the ropes, and of course, because his feet are on the other side of the ropes as he touches the ball, that must be 4.
McGrath's 10 overs complete now, 2 for 18. Dale's bowled his 10. No wicket for 35, 2 for 34 to Moody. Also Warren 2 for 42. So someone has to bowl this last over from the City end. It's going to be Simons. So 6 balls remain in the Zimbabwe innings. And Andy Flower giving him some room, and he has almost hit a 6. In fact, umpire Tiffin has called 6. Looked from where we're sitting, it hadn't just quite made the boundary. He gave himself some room. The extra cover boundary is not protected, and that's gone clearly over the rope. A wonderful stroke by Andy Flower, and again this time along the round that will be just 1 run to Damien Martin at long off. So 7 runs off the first 2 balls of this last over.
This was the 6, the shot of the day. He's come inside the delivery and hit through the line. That is a wonderful shot. Not much height on it, power, and into the crowd it goes. The next delivery, he's taken the single, so Mutendera will get strike and Andy Flower 91 not out.
And I would think that that conversation will go along the lines of, if you get bat on ball at all, we're running. Andy Flower wants to get the strike back, and Mutendera get bat on ball and swung it over mid-wicket. That ball was short from Simons, not good bowling, but Mutendera takes full toll. So 4 runs. 12 now, 11 off the first 3 balls of this last over.
Andrew Simons showing inexperience here, dropping very short, so even though Mutendera was looking for the shot down the ground, able to readjust and pull.
And he'll get off strike. A single too long off. That ball short outside off stump. Not necessarily a great idea either, but it's only resulted in a single.
Not quite sure why he's dropping short here. The block-hole ball would be a better option. Mutendera able to play the horizontal bat and get it back past the bowler for a single.
Well, Adam Gilchrist has come up over the stumps now to try and worry Andy Flower, who was wanting to advance, but that's gone over the keeper's head. Lehman will field the ball in a position the park cricket would describe as backstop. Another 2 valuable runs.
Yes, little off break, slow off break, which Andy Flower gets a top edge to. Ironic that Gilchrist had come up the delivery before.
Last ball, and Flower swung there high over square leg. And a valiant attempt to catch, but it is another 6. What a finish for Zimbabwe. The umpire asking, but that clearly went over the fence. Zimbabwe have finished off in a flurry. It has also brought up their 200. They finished 9 for 200. What an over for Zimbabwe.
Poor old Andy Flower's finished not out on 99. That's a magnificent shot. Again, a slow ball. And it's almost what one would call a slog sweep. Despairing dive, but the ball was already over the boundary. And so Zimbabwe able to get to 200 after all.
20 runs off that last over from Andrew Simons. What a finish for Zimbabwe. And the crowd are going mad. The atmosphere here now electric and anticipation of the Australian innings. That's what's happened today, Zimbabwe. Andy Flower not out 99. Campbell and Johnson started. Johnson the first to go, he made 5. Madondo only 6. Campbell 18, and extraordinary innings that it was, every shot in the book plus some. Grant Flower, a good knock of 21, Goodwin 14. Then not much support until Mutindera at the end, stuck around, hit a 4 himself, but the last partnership lifted Zimbabwe to 200, so they have a competitive total on the board. The partnerships you see, 33 down there for the last wicket. 24 for the opening partnership, somewhat better than yesterday. Good efforts in the middle for the 4th and 5th wicket of 43 and 39. And 29 there for the 7th wicket. So the Australian bowling, McGrath 2 for 18, outstanding. Dale was tidy, none for 35. Moody bowled well, as did Shane Warne, and Simon's figures. He had 7 overs, 1 for 32 before he had to bowl, excuse me, the last over. 20 runs came from it, so 8 overs, 1 for 52, and we've got a game on our hands.
To play in the major leagues,